I'm Chef Wilkins. We're at the Art Institute of Virginia Beach. We're a branch of the Art Institute of Atlanta. And today I'm going to show you how to finish a cake with buttercream and then some easy garnishes that you can put on the cake. So today we have a cake that was already pre-made. It's just a high ratio cake. They're easy to make at home, or you can, use the box mixes like you can get at the grocery store. But it's a 8-inch cake, so we're going to layer it and then we're going to start filling it with buttercream. So when I layer it, I always keep my hand on the top and I find the center of the cake on the side, and I'll run my knife around the outside of the cake first, and then I'll go the whole way through the center. I don't want to put my hand on the outside of the cake because I have a tendency to push through and you're more likely to cut yourself. So after I layer my cake, I'll take my top portion off, and then I'll make sure I have all my crumbs removed so that I don't put them in the side of my cake. Next, I have Italian buttercream that's already made, and in my bags. These tips you can find at any of the stores that carry the bakery products. So I made my Italian buttercream, which is basically an Italian meringue and butter added, and then you can add various flavors to it. So I will fill my inside of my cake. I try to keep it even so that all my cake layers are even when I finish the cake. So if you use a tip and fill it, you're more likely to have even layers and an even filling. So once I fill the inside, then I'm going to put my top back on. I'm just going to gently press it down, make sure that we're level across, and then I'll frost the outside of it. I also want to make sure I'm always removing my crumbs so that I don't have them in the side of my cake. Some people will take icing and just put it on the cake. I find it's easier sometimes to just ice the cake with a large amount of icing and then smooth it out. If I put a little bit of icing on it and iced it, it would be called crumb coating. And it helps too if you have lots of crumbs or a chocolate cake to keep the crumbs from showing on the outside. So when I do this, I do just like I did with the inside. I'll fill the top with icing, and I'll take the same icing and I'll ice the side, and I will go back and then smooth it out. So when I go back and smooth it out, I have an offset spatula, and I also have tools that you can find at any hardware store that have just a smooth straight edge, and it has nothing that interferes with the smooth edge, and those help ice the cake even too. So I'm going to go and smooth out my top first, and then I take this tool and I run it along the outside, and it helps smooth that out even too. So after I smooth it out, I build a wall up at the top here, as you can see. I will take my tool again, and I will go back and cut off that wall the whole way around. And you want to make sure you're cutting off even this way instead of coming around this way, and you'll get those nice squared edges at the edge of your cake. And then I just go back and just sort of smooth it all out. So you can see with the way that I did it, it's a lot easier than having to put a layer of icing on it and refrigerate it and come back and put another layer of icing on it. It's pretty quick and smooth, and I can ice a cake in just a few minutes. So after I get my cake iced, I want to work on some garnishes that are easy for my cake. And I have what's called modeling chocolate. Basically, it's like vanilla Tootsie Roll. And you can make it at home. You can make modeling chocolate at home, or you can just buy vanilla Tootsie Roll. I start with the center, and I need to make my center of my rose. I work in petals of 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. My first petal will go around the outside, and we're going to work it in so it gives you the center of your rosebud. Then I work all the next petals around, starting from where my last petal ended, and then I overlap them just a little bit, and they get wrapped around the center of that bud. I just knead it down just a little bit, make sure it's secure. And then on my first petals, they're always just tipped over on the edge just a little bit to give it that rose looking finish. Next, I go again on the inside of my next petal, and I take and overlap them on the center. And then again, wrap it around the inside of there and press it down to make sure that they stay secure. Now with these, I'm not going to just tip them over. I'm going to kind of pinch them back so it gives you that effect of the outer layers of the rosebud. You can color your Tootsie Roll with like the regular gel colors that you get at the store, or you can leave them plain, and they have lots of different luster colors that you can use. To finish this off too, I'm going to work it down, and then I would cut it off at the bottom, just because I wouldn't want to leave this big clunky end on my cake. So if I cut it off at the bottom, then it'll give me a rose that looks like that. We finish them, then I'll add to the cake. But what I want to do first is just put a quick border around my cake. So I have a star tip on my bag. I'm going to put a nice little shell border around the top. And then all the flowers that I made, these I dusted in gold. You can set them on the cake randomly how you like. These have pink dust on them. And I also made some leaf petals. They have leaf cutters out that you can randomly put in there, so it looks like you have your leaves for your flower. And you finish your cake that way. So this makes something nice that you can do at home. You don't have to go buy expensive ingredients. A lot of things you can find just at the grocery store, and make a nice pretty cake for a celebration. That's easy.